Hello and welcome to Make the Logo Bigger. My name is Brenton. This podcast is your gateway into the world of advertising production, crafted especially for those who are stepping in new, aiming to become producers, or simply eager to understand the inner workings of advertising and marketing. We're here to share insights and knowledge you've been looking for, with stories, tips, and real conversations from the pros. We're simplifying the process for everyone with a production curiosity. Whether you're just starting out or keen to explore the production side of ads, you've found the right place. Let's jump in. Today's episode, we are talking schedules. We are talking timelines, a crucial element to any production undertaking. Basically, it is a document that tells you when the said production needs to be delivered by. And in there, it also has the key milestones that are involved in your production. This document is used by everybody, whether your agency, whether your production company side. And what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about what it looks like, how to lay one out, the key elements involved. Let's jump into it. So what is a schedule? What is a timeline? Well, it's a one-page document, usually A4. It's set out in a spreadsheet, basically like a calendar. I like to think of them as your old school calendars that used to hang on the wall, where you'd have planners, where you would write things in, I should say, and you would plan out and everybody could see. And it is different than a Gantt chart. I know most marketing people will use Gantt charts. Production don't use them as much. Can follow along with them, but it's just easier if we have layouts like we said, like calendars, and you just plot in what the key milestone is, just the name of it, and then you just put that in each day. Schedules usually always accompany creative. Usually they go hand in hand. Whenever you're putting one together, it's usually that you need to send it in with a treatment, or you need to send it out because you're briefing it out. You need people to know when their key timings will be. Agency and production company usually have their own, but again, production company always use theirs for the production element and the post-production. A lot of the time, agencies can borrow from that and use it as well. It just depends if you've got a client-facing one, if you need less details. Again, you want to keep your work to as minimal as possible. If you can utilize one without having to create another one, great. Advertising Production Academy is a dedicated training platform for producers, marketers, and content teams working across advertising and creative production. With a focus on real-world application, the Academy offers free downloadable tools and a structured 6-week course that mirrors the actual flow of a campaign from brief to final delivery. Explore what's available at adproacademy.com.au. That's adproacademy.com.au. So, how to build one? How do you start out? Well, most importantly, when you are building your timeline, always start with the delivery date and then work backwards. So, delivery date is usually just before the assets need to go live. Usually, client needs to get them out. They need to deliver them to media. They need to upload them. They need to get them CAD, clear ads, as they call them today. That final delivery date, that's usually set in stone, and you can't usually play with it. But that's a topic or a discussion for another time. The delivery date is what it is, and then you work backwards, all the way back to the start, to pretty much when you get sign off. You're plotting all the major milestones throughout all those dates, all those days, times, weeks. You are trying to plot in talent, locations, wardrobe, PPM meetings, actual shoot dates, the offline, the online, the grade, all the key crucial elements you need to put in there. They can be as sparse or as detailed as you like. I would say put as much detail in as possible. It doesn't hurt. And when building your timeline, it's going to take you a little bit of time when you're doing it. You know, you may take a day to start plotting. Like a lot of things with production or even just projects, it usually takes a few hours just to start plotting, putting things in, start moving things around. You start looking, you start figuring it out. Where is it going to work? Have I got enough time here? The project doesn't really start to reveal itself timeline wise, I find, after probably, a good day of just looking at it and just shuffling things around. So be aware when you are putting your timeline together, make sure you give yourself a good day until you can finally get it into a really nice spot that you're comfortable with before you start sharing it with other stakeholders, other key people within the production. The other thing is, within the timeline, you need to look at building in buffers. So buffers become a part of all productions, whether it's budgetary, time-wise. You need to start working out where you've got buffers in case things need to be pushed out or things aren't delivered on time. Perfect world is you get everything whenever you want to. Realistically, though, that doesn't happen. Things slide, dates get missed. So you need to kind of have buffers built in there that you're aware of, that you know that you can eat into or you can push into, that allows you to keep the production on track. So always consider when you're looking at your different phases, pre-production, shoot, post-production. Shoot, not so much because you know those days are locked depending on weather. But your pre and your post, you really got to look at when you can maybe shift things back and forth. So, for instance, you don't want to be doing a PPM meeting, pre-production meeting, the day before you shoot. Sometimes it happens, but you want to know that you've got a few days up your sleeve should you need to start shifting things back if things don't align all the way up the top. Usually it's a cascade effect. One leads on to the other. Once you lock in talent and you can start doing wardrobe, once you find locations and you can start doing permits, there's a bit of a snowball effect. So usually you start to figure out that, if things are going to delay, if you feel like things are going to be missed, then you've got a bit more time up your sleeve. But again, this all comes with experience. The other thing is make sure you just ask somebody to have a look at your schedule, a seasoned professional, get them to have a look, get them to tell you if they think that it's reasonable. So what are the realistic timings overall for a production? I mean, they can be anything, depending on the scale, depending on the size, depending how big the budget is. It's very simple shoots you can probably pull together in a few days. Again, once you start adding different elements, talent, location, permits, wardrobe, effects, studio times, usually you find the bigger a production gets, the more time you need. Of course, because there's so many different elements that need to be locked in, squared away, signed off. They can be as big as you want, but most of the time it's go, go, go as fast as you can. Feels like it's just getting quicker and quicker. What have I done realistically? Big jobs, I've had them done in 10 days, all the way out to, 8 weeks. Now, you've built your schedule and it's time to get it out there into people's calendars and diaries. Once it has been disseminated, highly recommend that you start locking in times with all your key stakeholders. So all the key milestones, your reviews, all your PPMs or your pre-production meetings or your catch-ups, shoot days, post-production reviews, all those key timings, you need to put them into your calendar and need to put them into everybody else's calendar right away. So people, especially within your organization or people that are working with you and your group on the production, you need to lock in all those timings. Timings are obviously hard to come by with a lot of people. Crucial element. You don't want to be putting stuff into people's diaries a week out. You don't even want to be sometimes putting it into 2 weeks out. You want to be getting it in as quickly as possible. And then if things do change, obviously you update your schedule, but then what you do is you update the calendar invites as well. So then it secures and locks people's times in. When you do update your schedules, you need to put in what version it is. You need to ensure that the version is in the document. So you can have a box somewhere or an area where you put a V1 or a V2, V3, V4, whatever version it is. You need to also put the version into the naming convention of the document itself. Really important for anyone who's going back through emails, correspondence. Another thing to add in there in your schedule, outdoor filming. Make sure you put weather hold days in, depending where you are, what part of the country or the state, at what time of the season. Always have weather hold days because you never know when you get to a few days out and the weather goes to complete shizen. You need to know that you've got a day in reserve or up your sleeve that you can push out to. Look, if the weather's terrible all week, you may have to come back the following week. But that's why you don't lock crew and you actually confirm with all your crew until 48 hours usually before the shoot day. And just to recap, it's an A4 piece of paper. Best to be set out in calendar style, like a planner. Start from your delivery date or when everything goes live and then work all the way back from there. Schedules, really, it's a juggling act. You need to ensure that you've got enough time in pre-production and post-production to get the job done. It takes about a day when you're sitting with the schedule. When you start moving things around, you start to get a feel for if you think this is right, if you think you've given yourself enough time. Get someone who's a seasoned producer, someone who knows schedules and production. Get them to just sense check it for you. Make sure that it seems and it feels right to them. have buffer days that you're aware of, that you know that you can push into should things be delayed in in pre-production or in post-production. Lock people's time away immediately. As soon as you've sent out the schedule, start putting people's time on hold in the calendar. Naming conventions. When you update the actual version, put whatever version it is in the document and put whatever version it is in the name of the document. And weather hold days. Make sure you've got them in there if you are shooting outside. So there you have it. Schedules, timelines. Nice, quick rundown of things you should be mindful of, things you should have, things you should be aware of. And until next time, good luck with your productions. Well, that's it for today. I'll make the logo bigger. Thanks for hanging out with us. We've shared some insights and stories that I hope you found useful. Whether you're just getting started or diving deeper into ad production, there's always more to explore. Keep listening, stay curious, and we'll be back soon with some more from the world of production. Take care until then.